You're here for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, right? Good, because we've got two brand new collector's editions making their way to our Sega 16-bit console. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Retrobit are the de facto gold standard when it comes to creating collector's editions for the Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive. For years now, they've relaunched classic Sega 16-bit games that really resonate with physical game collectors. And they're doing it again with two games that never made their way to PAL territories. 𝗷 Viento is an early 90s platform game developed by the Wolf team. The collector's edition comes with the trademark classic goodies you'd expect from all Retrobit games. The clamshell has a reversible sleeve with both the Japanese and US artwork on it. There's a case sleeve with the classic Japanese artwork wrapped around it. The cartridge is transparent pink with the game logo etched into the PCB, and you get this lovely colour manual and certificate of authentication. Now, the other game they're releasing did come out on the Mega CD and is a favourite of mine, but the original was a Mega Drive and Genesis game, and again it didn't make it to PAL territories outside of the import market. It's Sol Deace, which for us PAL fans will recognise as 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Just like 𝗷 Viento, you'll get the reversible sleeve, an awesome slip cover, the colour manual, certificate of authentication, the transparent cart, and also a special double-sided poster that you can decorate your bedroom with. Now, like all Retrobit games, these are limited to just a single run. So if you want a copy, this will be your only chance to buy one before eBay becomes your only option. Pre-orders start today on the 27th of June and end on the 30th of July. Now, before you jump down to the description below to secure your pre-order, let's take a look at the games. So I've never played 𝗷 Viento before. This is the first time I've ever heard of it until Retrobit's announcement that they were re-releasing this game on the Genesis, on the Sega Mega Drive. Had no idea it existed. So this is the first time I'm playing it. From what I understand, it's an early 90s game and it's kind of based in the 1930s, and it mixes kind of satanic evil forces with 1930s environments and ninjas. So let's have a quick play and see exactly what 𝗷 Viento is all about, especially for us in Europe here who never got to play this game. Skipped a bit of the intro there. It's got a massively long intro into it, and I already love the visuals, especially the character. Very anime, very manga looking. We've got options here. Okay, so control and music, so there's no difficulty. Let's get straight into the game. Okay, so straight off the bat, this is not going to be a game for people who have expectations around graphics. That doesn't mean that the game is terrible or doesn't play well, but definitely visually, it's a early 90s game, for sure on the Mega Drive. It's nice and fast, and the combat's nice so far. Jumping's nice. I love the animation on the character. Again, these backgrounds are not going to do it for those of you that are all about graphics. Although for a 90s game, quite nice. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the art style for Golden Axe, Double Dragon, those sorts of games. Again, those early 90s games on the Mega Drive and on the Genesis. But it's very, very responsive. Oh no, I'm getting destroyed. Yeah, very responsive. I've got attack. Oh, that was a nice sprite. Nice big explosion sprite there. So I've got jump. It's really nice how you can control your fall and the animation on it. And then we've got a special move here, which I'm going to save, because I don't know what that's like. I wonder if it's like the Golden Axe special moves, so you collect stuff. Because there's 5 slots there, so I don't know if you collect 5 different specials, or if those are 5 power-ups, you know, strength of special. It feels nice. It's very reactive. Like I said, super fast. Did you just chuck a chair out of the window? I think they're throwing tables and furniture. Yeah, they're dropping furniture out the windows. Take that. Throwing IKEA furniture out of their windows at me. See, I think the storyline around this is you've got satanic worshippers who are trying to, I think, bring back the devil or evil spirits into 1920s, 1930s New York. And you've got the mafia involved who are sponsoring this this evil entry into our world. And then we have this ninja girl. And from what I can, I think she is a demon herself, or she's partially a demon. I need to go back and look at the storyline. But the attack's really nice. Kind of a little bit shinobi-esque. Oh my goodness. I went through a door. That was the problem with these 90s games, right? Is that the color palettes were so monochrome almost on the Mega Drive that you hardly knew if something was interactable or not. I get a little bit of Dick Tracy vibes. Again, I think that's just the 1920 characters with your gangsters and their Tommy guns. Oh, that was nice. Oh, look at that explosion. That's massive. I don't know how long I'm going to survive here. Alright, there's a bit of slow down there as you get those big explosions. But that explosion was massive. That was a full screen explosion there. And the animation as that car turned in was awesome. Yeah, these cars, like the animation on the character, on those vehicles, and the amount of sprites they were chucking around there was excellent. Okay, I died. One life only. Okay, I've got back to where I was before. And I gotta say, I quite like moving through the buildings. I love the animation on this. Love the speed that this moves at. There's a lot going for this game. Again, for an early 90s game, it's playing quite nicely. Right, those were my special moves. I've wasted a special move there. Okay, so your special move recharges, so it's not like double Golden Axe where you collect stuff. So it's a rechargeable special move. So I could have used that all along against some of those bad guys. So it's quite interesting, this mechanic, like going inside of buildings and out of them again. It's kind of like an light exploration mode in the game. Oh, extra life. Definitely need that with my gaming skills. Okay, yep, up there, please. The backgrounds do get very samey, very quickly. Oh, we got a boss now. This guy's got a tank. There's no way I'm surviving this. Oh! What? You gotta be kidding me. Oh! Okay. Right, let's move on to the next game, Sol Deace. Now, I am a big fan of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which came out on the Mega CD. We never got Sol Deace, which came out, I think, it came out on the Sega Genesis and in Japan. Now, I love the Mega CD version of this game, and the soundtrack for me is what makes it in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So it'd be interesting to see what Sol Deace is like. Does it throw around as many sprites as 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 does? what's the soundtrack like. Obviously, it's using the Yamaha sound chip in the Mega Drive, so hopefully it's not going to be the same as the Mega CD version, but it still could have a great soundtrack because that Yamaha chip produces some unbelievable tunes. I'm going to skip the intro and we'll get straight into the game. I mean, it's exactly the same logo, Viento Sol Deace. Obviously, Sol Deace came first. We got speed. We'll keep it as it is. Start. It's pretty. I mean, it plays the same. Wow, I am actually genuinely impressed. I am genuinely impressed about how good this looks. This looks like Sol Deace. And the soundtrack isn't as good as this Mega CD version. Obviously, this is the original soundtrack, but you can hear it. You can hear the Mega CD soundtrack in here, or you can hear the Mega Drive version of the soundtrack in Sol Deace soundtrack. This is really good. This is just as fast. It's got all the particles and rubble floating through the sky. It's got those flying bullets. You've got that weird control, so as you move up and down, your guns move in opposite directions. Almost like they have inertia on them. Really nice, actually. I'm very surprised by this. Again, we never got the Mega Drive version of the game here in Europe. It was only the Mega CD version, so that's all I had to go on. And at least it feels exactly the same. And I'm just as good at that as I am at this, which is not very good. And the soundtrack is actually really cool. It is really nice. So yeah, in Sol Deace or Sol Deace, if you move down, you see the bottom gun goes up. If you move up, the top gun goes down. If you move forward, they both come out. If you move backwards, they both go in. So kind of like an inertia. So depending on how you want your configuration of gun is depending on how you move. And then you lock it in by holding down the fire button, and then it will stay in that mode. Oh, the soundtrack is really good. Alright, we'll keep this nice and focused because I've got to hit the middle. Oh no. Yeah, this is almost pixel. It feels, at least, like it's pixel for pixel. Oh. I'm not going to get my special ammo. Got it. Oh, excellent. Excellent. I was a little afraid that the Mega CD version was just going to be so beyond. Oh, it's even got the animation there. I was worried that the Mega CD version was just going to be so beyond Sol Deace, like a massive improvement that I wouldn't enjoy the original version of the game. But actually, now playing the original version of the game, it's impressive. It's impressive to see what they've managed to do with the Mega Drive. Awesome. Let's talk a little bit more about these two games that we've just seen. Now, I've got to say, I was super impressed with Sol Deace. I had no idea that it was a Mega Drive game first and then ported over to the Mega CD. And I've got to say, I'm really impressed with it. I was impressed with it on the Mega CD, the cutscenes, the music, the action, the amount of sprites it had on screen. But to see the exact same game playing on the Mega Drive makes it that more impressive. The audio is great, the gameplay is true to what you'd find if you've played it on the Mega CD, and I just love the structure of each of the levels. You've got those great little cutscenes in between that just adds to the narrative, and the overall presentation of the game is fantastic. Now as for 𝗴𝗺𝗶𝗴 Viento, it is a 90s game, an early 90s game, and from what I understand, quite a hard one to get hold of. If you want to pick up a complete in-box version, it's north of £300. But saying that, I was still relatively impressed with the game. It's the first time I've ever played it, the first time I even knew that the game existed. It's fast and traversal is fun. Jumping and attacks feel responsive, and some of the animations are just fantastic. The character's jump animation with that continual flowing on her ribbons is just amazing. I love that car as it spun round, and as you get into later levels, you see more of that attention to detail on the characters and enemies. Now graphically, outside of the character design and the interactive objects like the vehicles that come in and attack you, the backgrounds are simplistic. They're almost Double Dragon-ish, but not quite as good as Double Dragon-ish. Very typical Sega Mega Drive. So if you are someone that's all about great looking graphics, you're not necessarily going to find them in this game. But if you like solid gameplay, if you like platforming, if you kind of want a bit of Shinobi, a bit of platforming in there, then this is definitely going to be for you. Of course, if you're a collector, you'll definitely want to pick this up. And if you're in the PAL territories and like me, never heard of it or never played it, it's definitely worth a playthrough. It's not the best game in the collection, but it's a pretty solid one. Overall, this is shaping up to be another great release from RetroBit. Until next time we meet, I'll see you later.